Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Welcome and thank you for stopping by. It's fantastic that you're here. Well, I trust you enjoyed my last video on the band Big Pig and Aussie band Big Pig and their song Breakaway. And in that video, we talked about the fact that yes, sometimes we need to break away from what we know to find out what life might have in store for us. So I trust you enjoyed that one. Well, we moved from that Aussie band to an Aussie singer-songwriter, in fact, multi-instrumentalist, Billy Field. Now, Billy broke into the Australian music scene with his album Bad Habits in 1981. And actually, between 1981 and 1989, he actually released 4 albums. And he's very much these days, I suppose, advocating for peace in various things that he does in the world. And so he's trying to do his little bit to try and make the world a better place. I suppose for this video today, I want to, look at 3 of his songs. In fact, if you look at them in a particular order, you get a bit of a story here. And so I suppose in my normal sort of way, I'll just sort of use a bit of a character here. Let's call him Conrad. Now, Conrad is a 19-year-old. He's finished school. He's a bit of an up-and-comer. He's doing well at uni and he's looking like there's going to be a big marketing career for him going forward. So life is just going really, really well for him. In fact, firms are already lining up and he's only in second year uni because they've heard about this guy and they want him to work for them. So very much the golden child of the family and well and truly well known in his community as a guy of who's got incredible brains about him and just has a way about him. But with a typical 19-year-old lad, or we could say 19-year-old girl, either way, but let's focus on Conrad. His concept of relationships and of women is very much, I'll see if I can get my way with them and I'll have a night with them and I'll call it love because I'm having fun and I'm getting the girls I need because I'm such a compelling person. And so, yeah, I'll just have the best fun that I can and just sow my wild oats everywhere. I might even head over to Europe and have a bit of fun in Paris and London while I'm at it. This is his view as love, and surely there's no shortage of girls lining up to be with him. And so he's thinking, how cool, how amazing, how fantastic. Life goes on for a while, and he is establishing his career now. And things are going well career-wise for him, but he's not seeing the girls lining up as much as he used to. Even though he's got the money and the success and everything else, the girls are not lining up to be with him. And eventually it gets to a point where no one's really interested at all, and quite often Conrad is alone at night on his own and no one to spend time with. His friends have moved on to other things and girls that he did know, well, they've either moved away or whatever. And so Conrad finds himself a bit more on his own. His career is fantastic and he does have the odd fun in Bali, but life is just a bit empty for him and a bit sad. And he's wondering what on earth happened. I was having such good fun and now the fun has gone. So anyway, he just keeps going on for a while and he gets a score every now and then, but it's all just a bit empty for him and a bit whatever. Well, he has a mate named John. Now, John just works in an insurance office and he actually got married a little while back. And there was a kid and he was actually going really, really well. And John had known Conrad for a long time, like over 10 years. And John just felt like he needed to give Conrad a ring because he hadn't seen Conrad for a while and to find out how he's going. And sure enough, he rang up and Conrad said, hey, mate, life's not going so well. I'm a bit sad and a bit lonely. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. Shall we catch up for a drink? So anyway, they went back to a place that they used to go as lads, and over the course of the next little while, Conrad just shared his sadness and about everything. John just sat there and listened. And then John said, "Hey, Conrad, you know what? I reckon I know what the problem is. Do you want me to tell you?" Well, Conrad just looked at John and said, oh, really? You know what the problem is? Is it good?" And John said, "You know what, Conrad? I don't reckon it is. And I reckon you might know what the issue is here as well." Anyway, Conrad was a bit intrigued. He kind of sensed this was a bit of a moment for him, and it would be better to listen than to not. So anyway, John said, "You know what, Conrad? When you were 1920, you got a bit of a reputation, a bit of a ladies' man, and I lost count of the number of conversations I had with people who would say, 'Oh man, Conrad, he's a bit hard to take, isn't he? He doesn't seem to understand what's going on.' And yeah, mate, I'm sorry, even though you had a great reputation with the women, women who knew you told others to stay away because it was just, you had no idea what you were doing with it. And so guess what's happened now? You're actually on your own because the reputation is almost bigger than you are." Conrad just stared for a while and he said, "What do you mean, John, reputation? What do you mean? I don't... How dare you say such a thing? Why didn't you say it earlier?" John said, "Well, for what's just happened now, you weren't willing to listen. And so you find yourself where you are right now. And, you know, I don't know what the future's going to be for you, Conrad. Really, I don't. You know, it seems like the reputation's pretty well ingrained now. But all I can suggest is that maybe you think about how you can do things differently. Instead of seeing women as something to conquer, see them as someone you can partner with and see where that goes." Conrad just stared at him and he said, "Oh, look, mate, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go and I'm just going to, you know, whatever. And it's been nice knowing you and I'll see you around." John just sort of watched Conrad leave and kind of that was it. And the sad thing, I suppose, for Conrad was that he never really did understand what was going on. He never really did understand it, and life continued on as it always had. In fact, I'm going to be doing Billy Joel in a couple of weeks, and one his song "Piano Man," and yeah, Conrad's going to be in that bar. We all know the story. I might have to change his name, but that's okay. He never got the lesson that John was trying to tell him. Because it comes down to, you know, Conrad didn't know what love is. He didn't know what it is. Remember that song by Foreigner, "I Want to Know What Love Is"? Classic example. You think about a lot of their other songs that they've got. They talk about this getting on with women thing, and they just didn't get it either. No wonder they ask such questions. But there is a good definition of what love is. And I don't know, you may have been to a wedding and you may have heard these words read out. So I thought I'd just read them for you now. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonour others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Does that love sound like, you know, getting on with a girl on a Saturday night? That's not love, that's lust. love is much deeper than that. And as I shared when I was looking at Belinda Carlisle a little while back, that there's been a marriage that has survived cocaine addiction and everything. Love needs to be strong at times. It needs to be tough. It needs to be able to endure. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes. It is not a one-night stand. So if you're one of these guys going out on the town and telling a girl that you love her because you actually you just want to get into her pants, that's not love, mate. It really isn't. And if you're a girl going around doing that, it's not love either. And you will find, as Conrad found, you will eventually get very, very lonely, because your reputation will precede you wherever you go. So I suppose the encouragement is you can decide right now to make that different and to make that change and to resist your urges and to actually think, well, what can I do to honour this thing called love? And believe it or not, that reading comes from the Bible, from the book of 1 Corinthians, and it's such a beautiful definition of love. It is quite a high standard for love. I think it's like really, really hard to get to that point. But I think what this passage is actually saying is that there is more love than the situation that you may currently be in. I mean, obviously, if the situation you're in is dangerous and not safe, well, that's beyond the scope of love, I'm thinking. But if it's just a little bit tricky and a little bit hard, a little bit, whatever, there's more love to go if you just give yourself to it. God is such a powerful and potent force. So if you're in this situation right now, you have this opportunity to change into someone who does believe in these ideals. So I trust that will be an encouragement to you. Which brings me on to these 3 songs by Billy Field today, which sort of follow the story of Conrad a little bit. We have the song Bad Habits, 1981, Can't Help Myself, Bad Habits, very much along the line of the guy going to the bar and doing whatever. We then got, and that came from the 1981 album Bad Habits. We then got, in 1982 with Tribology album, the song True Love, and really that's not true love at all. That's just him trying to get on with a really cute girl. And so that's very much lying to yourself about what love is. And then back to the Bad Habits album, we've got I Was in Love with You, but You Weren't in Love with Me. That's another classic example of what happens when love goes and love disappears. And in this particular song, I'm not sure if this is Billy Field's real life examples, but basically we see a guy singing absolutely heart-wrenching lyrics in a really heart-wrenching and raw way. But this is what happens when the true love, which you think is just getting on with a girl, is actually not true love. And the love you thought was love is not love at all. And you find yourself broken and alone. And I think that's the last thing that we want, is to be that. We want to be in relationships that are wholesome, in relationships that are trusting, and in relationships that make us feel really, really amazing. Because love is more than a feeling, though. Love is actually a choice that we make, and it's a choice that we continue to make. You don't say I love you once, you say I love you many, many times, and back it up with action whenever you can. Often in the little things, in the small things of life, there are many opportunities to express love in our days. So I trust that will all be an encouragement for you today. Those 3 songs, by the way, are the links to those 3 songs are in the description below. And yes, there's not much in the way of live clip for Billy Field, and so we have got the 3 official clips for those 3 songs. I'm really quite taken with the way Billy sings. He's got a really cool voice, perfect for the songs that he's written. And I really love the performance, not the performance, but the clip of You Weren't in Love with Me. It's it's an incredibly written song, and to me, there's a bit of elements of realization in there as well as the longing for what has been. So that's it for today. I trust that's all been an encouragement for you. I've just sort of realised after watching a video recently, a doco, that I'm no longer going to say subscribe and like and all that sort of thing, because I don't want a multitude of subscribers. If that actually comes, well be it. But really, I've said this so many times, I want these videos to be an encouragement. And if you are in these moments right now that you think, well, maybe I should do things a bit different. So I'm no longer going to say, would you give it the thumbs up and subscribe? The little pictures in the bottom there, so if you want to do it, well-being. But I'm not going to prompt that anymore, because if you like it, and that's it. Well, that's it for today. Next time we're going to go on to, one of the, I suppose, wild boys of rock, and that's Billy Idol. So until then, I'll catch you around.